Hey guys, what's up? Hey, today we're going to be dyeing traps, getting ready for the upcoming trapping season. I just got my water put on the burner there, so we're going to wait for that to boil. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. You can see the traps here. Opening day in PA is October 21st, I want to say, for raccoons and foxes and coyotes. And then it's middle of November for mink and muskrat. And then beavers the day after Christmas. So we're gonna get these traps going, get the water going, and we'll be back with you. All right, guys, see you in a bit. All right, your dye's mixed in there. We'll go get some traps and dunk them in, let them boil for a while. Alright, you gotta kind of push them around a little bit to make everything fit, so. There's one batch. I have to grab the other ones. And now we're just going to keep going until I get the rest of these in there and dyed. I let these boil, I don't know, 20 minutes. It's not hard to do. But I got those ones left. And when we get done, I'm going to have some conversation starters for you guys. I got a few questions and want to know if you guys have any questions for me. So stick around, we'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, hey, I'm back. I still got my traps. Some of them are still boiling. I've gotten a lot done. I'm gonna finish them up here as the night goes on. Don't have too much longer to do them. So just wanted to sit and talk with you guys and tell you my story of my first experience and catch with trapping, and I wanted to hear your guys's. So leave it in the comments below why you trap, what got you into it, what got you interested, who got you interested. And I like hearing those type of stories. But before we move on, I want to touch base on this. I'm sure everyone here that's a trapper has dealt with it at one point in time, some way or another. Us sportsmen, we're on the same team. Hunters, fishermen, trappers, doesn't matter. But trapping especially gets a bad rap, not only from the anti-trappers, but also from people in our own ranks that are supposedly on our side. And I know the biggest offenders are, well, maybe not the biggest, but one of them is waterfowl hunters. Now, I love to duck and goose hunt, but I've had instances where I've had duck hunters that have messed with legally set traps, that I did everything legal, and they were messing with them, removed them, threw them on the bank, whatever, destroyed them. Come on, have some class. First off. Second off, we're all on the same side. Let's not be bickering back and forth of why you shouldn't be allowed to do this or should. If it's legal, enjoy it. Go out and do it. If that's what you want to do, if it's legal to do, have at it. But we need to support each other all across the board. I don't care if you're a saltwater fisherman that has never touched a gun or a bow or a trap, or if you're a trapper that has never picked up the shotgun and sat in a duck blind. We're all on the same side. We need to stay that way. Okay guys, on to what my first experience of trapping, my first catch. You're probably wondering why I'm holding a 110 conibear. This is the trap, and I'm sure that, as with me, is probably the reason and the gateway for a lot of you in. But this is the trap that got me into it, and this is why I'm still doing it today. My grandparents' old house, they had this pond, and there's bass and there's bluegill in it, and there's also muskrat. My uncle, who now lives in Switzerland, was home one fall, and I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and he used to trap. That's where I got some of my traps I started with. And I had an interest in it because I had found some traps in my parents' garage that were his, and he come home and we went up there, and I picture it vividly still to this day. In the back of the one corner of the pond, there was cattails, and some were flattened down, but there was trails through the cattails underwater. And I remember he took me up there, and I sat on the bank and stood on the bank while he explained to me and told me what we were doing and why we were doing it. And he put this 110 conibear, he set it and put it on one of the runs underneath the water, put some cattails on top of the spring, and then staked it down. And I was just excited as can be. I couldn't contain myself. That night I could hardly sleep, and I was up at 7 a.m. waking him up, wanting to go up there and check that trap. And we went up, and it got cold that night, and there's a skim layer of ice on the top of the pond back in the cattails. And we walked up, and I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what was going to happen, and we walked around that corner, and I looked, and sure enough, there was a tuft of fur and a rat tail sticking above that skim layer of ice. And you would have thought I just won the lottery for $100 million. I was the happiest kid in the world, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. So we got it out of the trap, pulled the trap, went back down to the house. We skinned it. He showed me how to skin it, flesh it. You don't really have to flesh muskrats, but fleshed it, and then dried it. And then before he left to go back home, he took me up to the fur buyers, and we sold the fur buyer that muskrat for $7. I remember that to this day. And I just thought that was the coolest thing in the whole world, and that's how I'm here, why I'm trapping still today, because of my uncle. I mean, it was right up there with shooting my first buck with that experience. So I like telling that story, I like thinking about it, and to think that just one 110 conibear has done all this and triggered all this in me, and still 25 years later, I'm still trapping. Like I said, post your comments in the stories, or post your story in the comments below, why you started, how you started, who got you into it, what you caught first. I like reading all those. So alright guys, I'm gonna get the rest of these traps finished up, hung up and dried them, and then that's gonna be it for me today. Hopefully soon we're gonna be out setting for fox and coyote, and then come November, my favorite way to trap, water trapping, muskrats, mink, raccoons, and then day after Christmas is beaver season. So got a big long fall in store. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.